soon. I know that's the first important part. Welcome to Durham College. Welcome to our 32nd annual Durham College Athletic Banquet and Induction Ceremony for our Sports Hall of Fame. And certainly in a moment we're going to go through a brief introduction of our head table. This is our distinguished DCSA Vice President in a moment. And then following that, in a few short words, we will begin dinner. So without further ado, on behalf of the Athletic Department, our host committee, I'd like to introduce our Durham College Student Association Vice President of Student Athletics, Becky Tranter.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our head table. Right here, the one and only Ken Babcock, Athletic Director and our MC for tonight. Beside him, we have Lori Connor. She's the Alumni Director. We have Liz Merpaloo, who's a varsity placement student. Frank Graham, who is also a varsity placement student. And last but not least, Dave Bokhorst, another varsity placement student. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce Lori Connor. She'll be saying a few words on behalf of the Alumni Association. Welcome, everybody. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the athletes who are here tonight. It's been a fabulous year, and it's always great to get Ken's emails every morning to find out how the teams have done the night before. And a special congratulations to Gary and Augusto on their induction into the Sports Hall of Fame. It's wonderful, and I would like to congratulate them both. And to all the graduating athletes who will be leaving us this year, we'd just like to remind you to keep in touch and let us know where you are. Ken and I both like to know what you're doing and where you are. You can always log on to the website and fill out the information and email it to me, and then we can share it with each other. A couple of things to remember. The Alumni Association, one of the programs that we started up last year was with MD&A credit cards. And you will be solicited to get an MD&A credit card once you graduate. But one thing to keep in mind is, as a result of this program, the Alumni Association has been able to give back $2,000 in scholarships and bursaries to current students. And we hope that that amount will continue to grow. So keep in touch. There are benefits such as home and auto insurance discounts. We also offer Wonderland tickets at a discount. We will be holding a Blue Jay event in August, and we also offer Ontario Place tickets. So again, enjoy yourselves this evening and have a great time at the party. Thanks. We have a couple more things before dinner. We decided to do something a little different this year. We're going to have a varsity athlete sing the national anthem for us. So if I can introduce Alana Jones, a member of the
O God, for giving me a body which is specially fit and strong, and for making me able to use it well. In my training, help me never to shirk the discipline which I know that I need and ought to accept. In my leisure and in my pleasure, help me never to allow myself any indulgence which would make me less fit than I ought to be. When I compete with others, help me, win or lose, to play fair. When I win, keep me from boasting. When I lose, keep me from making excuses. Keep me from being conceited when I succeed, and help me, always, with the goodwill to congratulate the better person who beat me. Help me so to live that I will always have a healthy body and a healthy mind. This I ask for your love's sake. Amen.
Okay, dinner time. We'll begin dinner. First of all, those people that have a VIP sign at their table, the athletic department table, and the head table can proceed to the back area and begin the...
Have a second chance later on, so I'd just like to welcome you all. Wish you a wonderful evening. We'll chat later. Thank you.
There will be an after-party pub. Everyone's welcome to come. They have, get in with your ticket. We have food there. A good DJ. Mark's going to come up a little bit later and go on about it. It's going to be a really good party, so I hope everyone can make it. And at this time, I would like to introduce Ken Babcock, our athletic director and master of ceremonies.
Okay, if I could, I know you're grabbing some dessert. As quickly as possible, if you could make your way back to your seats. Especially the people who've been up there 3 times. What I'd like to do this evening, and first of all, I'd like to congratulate, if I could, an outstanding team. First of all, who I'll thank in a moment for the outstanding yearly event. Certainly, tonight's a night about our student athletes. It's all about our students. The BCSA is about our students. Our president and our entire college staff and faculty are about our students. So this is a night of celebration for you, the students, the athletes, and certainly in your own way you can recognize your coaches and those near you with your particular programs. We've got a terrific agenda planned tonight. We've got a number of alumni here and former Hall of Famers here and some guests, and certainly our Hall of Fame induction ceremony this evening as well. Sports Hall of Fame grow this year by 2 inductees. So I'd like to start things off, first of all, by having those people responsible today who worked very hard in planning up to this day, and also especially today, after kicking all the students out from their lunch hour, turning this facility into a wonderful banquet hall. You know who you are. Please stand now and be recognized. Host committee of the banquet. Becky, everybody, please stand. A terrific job. What I'd like to do right now, if I could, a little change of plans here on how I recognize my own staff. We've got an outstanding team of champions in our own staff, and I'd like to, if I could, quickly have them stand. Have them stand when I have a few words to say, and have them seated, because there's another part of our agenda where our students have something planned. So I'd like to do that, if I could, one by one, stand and be recognized, and then we have something planned a little later where you're going to come up here. First call, Allison Chizewski. She can stand. Our athletic therapist, and too many of you are cheering, obviously. You spent too much time with her this year in the injury room. But certainly Allison comes to us from McMaster University via Sheridan College to here, and it's one of the best things we've done with our programs is bring Allison on to look after the needs and specialty needs of our program. So Allison, thank you for a terrific year and doing all you do to provide a terrific service for our student athletes. Michelle Roberts, if you can stand. Michelle comes to us from Oshawa, obviously, and just her first year with us has really stepped in big time in our department. And what a terrific person to have around our department with details, and she took on the job quickly, just starting less than a year ago. And we're real pleased to have had the opportunity to have Michelle in our department. Please recognize Michelle Roberts. not sure why this gentleman was standing with the cafeteria staff a moment ago for the thank you, but he does make his way around, and certainly makes his way around the athletic department as well. He's coming into his own after a terrific student career here. He's also a former student council president here. We're talking about students and how students move on. He's also one of our full-time facility supervisors, Wayne Christo. Please stand. Now, Wayne, yeah, he is standing. He is. And you were owned up. Wayne comes to us from a place a little bit further north of here, from a town called Haleybury, which is a couple trips past Sudbury. And in turn, after a successful term on student council, has taken on a great role with our athletic department. He's a valued part of our team, and certainly we're glad to have him a part of our athletic department. Please recognize Wayne Christo. Mike Duggan, please stand. Mike comes to us from Barrie, Ontario. He's also a graduate from 1986. And he's with us since we been with us since we lured him away from the retail sector at Bay Sports, and it was one of the best decisions we made. Don't forget Mike selecting the golf team. You recognize who's chairing the golf team as they're all trying to make the team this spring, right? Mike certainly made a name for himself, not only with our golf program, but more importantly, as I talked about our staff, he's just a shining and bright star in our athletic department, and well recognized, as you can see. Please recognize Mike Duggan. Which leads me to Karen Richards. Please stand. Karen also came to us from Oshawa. She is also a Durham College graduate, which says a lot about our institution. We believe very highly in our grads and success, so much that we hire many of them. We're certainly, her parents made the decision to move from Sussex, England a number of years ago, so we could have her end up at Durham College. Across the college system, Karen is at the top of her league in what she does. They often look to her for guidance, often on the phone asking her for advice in her role as a leading assistant in varsity athletics and looking after all the details in our athletic department. Please recognize Karen Richards. Thanks very much, everyone. Appreciate it very much. This time, if I could have this mic not cut out anymore, introduce our Durham College Vice President of Student Athletics, who is also, following the recent elections, our new Durham College Student Council's President, to come forward and say a few words. Please, Trader.
Okay, before I get into the formal stuff, I have a few people that I'd like to recognize as well. Our incoming and outgoing DCSA executive. So if I can find everyone, if you can please stand. Outgoing, is Darla Price still here? She's gone? Right, she's out doing a bad habit right now. Okay, so smoking, okay. Anyway, all right, we'll do the incoming DCSA since they're all here. We have Eric George, our VP of Finance. If you can please stand, Eric. Jonathan Dyer, our VP of University Affairs. Sarah Kwana, VP of PR and Promotions. Karen McConey, VP of Student Affairs.
Doing out here anything?
Oh, where's Melanie? Melanie Williams, VP of Admin. Oh, way over in the corner. All right, first of all, I would like to say that I'm very honored to be able to represent student athletes, being an athlete myself. because I understand the hard work and dedication that goes on the field, off the field, course, diamond, whatever. So on behalf of the Durham College Student Association, we'd like to congratulate you on a successful year athletically and academically. And the time and energy that you put in towards sports is just completely admired, and we cannot recognize you enough for all your efforts. I'd like to take this opportunity to let you know some of the involvement that DCSA has had with athletics. First of all, we've been a major contributor to the Golf Nationals that we hosted. Also, the OCAA. Also, the OCAA Basketball All-Star Game. The OCAA Final Four Women's Basketball Championship. And of course, what we're all here for today, the athletic banquet. And for next year, we look forward to continuing our relationship with the athletic department and the athletes, and such events, again, we look forward to contributing to Golf Nationals again. We're also sponsored for we're hosting the Men's Volleyball National Championships and also the Women's Basketball Provincial, so we look forward to contributing to that as well. So for the returning athletes, I would like to, we look forward to working with you again on another successful season, and also for the graduating students, we wish you the best of luck with your careers, and hopefully you will be back to support Durham College Athletics. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Becky. Certainly on Becky's behalf, it's great to have someone with so much experience returning. So your student interests are certainly in great hands with Becky returning next year as president. I'd like to at this time introduce, if they could stand and just be recognized for a brief moment, some special guests in attendance this evening. And I've been able to scour the room a little bit. It's a little easier. Can you hear me in the back okay? Not bad? Good?
The milk crates.
I'd like to introduce, if I could, our former student council president himself, who's joined us, and very much a part of the success over the past number of years at Durham. If he could please stand, former student council president, Mr. Will Ellis. We have from time to time some former Hall of Famers in attendance. If I could please have, I think I got this right, currently with our men's soccer program, where he's now the head coach of our women's soccer program, and on to terrific things there. The former Hall of Famer, Vaso Bajanovic, please stand. I'd also like to call upon our former fastball coach, long time, and recently retired from the college, and always takes the time to be at these events and be where students are doing exciting things, and just a champion of students altogether. We're pleased to have Mr. Richard Snowden with us, former Hall of Famer. Richard. I'd like to at this time recognize, again for the second time, but certainly very deserving, former student council president who's on council twice, as was Will. Please stand to be recognized again, Mr. Dwayne Christo. And certainly the special guest right now I'd like to recognize. There's some obvious sentiments here myself personally, and it's my pleasure to introduce and have him stand to be recognized. A gentleman who hired me originally back in 1987 after I graduated here, and was the original athletic director, built our programs from where they were back in 1970-71 to where they are today. And it's my real pleasure to introduce our former athletic director returning this evening to take in the festivities, Mr. Dave Stewart. We'll begin tonight's presentations, and we have many terrific presentations. We'll be getting the Hall of Fame induction ceremony shortly. I'd like to first of all present the first of our special awards. It's the Robert Burnett Memorial Scholarship Award. And it's an award each year. They're recognizing the gentleman who was a student athlete here that succumbed to a long battle with Hodgkin's disease. And each year, his memory through Don Sherry's grapevine, and I know a guest will be speaking a little bit later, Sherry Basson, who's in attendance this evening, who was also involved with that. And the family, and most of you know George Burnett, who's the general manager, head coach of the Oshawa Generals. Rob Burnett was a special individual. We kept this scholarship going with terrific support because he was very deserving in recognizing all the things he was about. Dedication, leadership, perseverance, and never quitting. He never did. Robert Burnett was a special award. It's a $250 bursary that's available and presented to our men's basketball team each year. This year, the Robert Burnett Memorial Scholarship Award goes to, from the men's basketball team, Dudley Bennett. Congratulations, Dudley. We'd like to begin with the induction ceremonies for our Durham College Sports Hall of Fame for 2002. Be inducting two outstanding individuals this evening. As you can see, probably mingling in their permanent wall depiction, which will be appearing in our Sports Hall of Fame permanently, is located at the back. We're going to begin this evening with our first Hall of Fame induction candidate, if I could. Next phone call, I get the answer. We'd like to, at this time, recognize, as we have since 1997, outstanding individuals, both as builders, as student athletes, and as coaches, within our Durham College Athletic Department and Durham College Athletic programs. And in this case, our first inductee, with his family and friends here, and a lot of supporters here as well. And in this case, it's a real easy choice. The committee unanimously selected this choice, and it's a group of terrific people on this committee. And I'd like to call upon someone, before I get into the formal part, who has taken the time to be here this evening to say a few words on behalf of our first Hall of Fame induction recipient, Gary Polonsky. The next gentleman I'd like to introduce to say a few words is certainly no stranger to this area. You may not know because he's been away from Durham, but he's never too far away. He was a longtime faculty professor with our legal admin program for over 26 years. In fact, he made 26 banquets as well during that time. And in turn, he's also been very well known for his hockey accomplishments as a general manager and an administrator and an owner in the Ontario Hockey League, both the Oshawa Generals, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and more recently as the owner and majority partner of the Erie Otters of the Ontario Hockey League. In addition to that, during his career while he was with Oshawa, he also was the general manager of Canada's World Junior Hockey Championship gold medal teams twice during his tenure, which led to a career in the National Hockey League with Quebec Nordiques. He's found his home back in junior hockey where he's at his best with students and their student athletes as well. It's my pleasure to introduce this evening who will say a few words about our first inductee, Mr. Sherry Basson.
There's another dessert here.
It's nice to come back home, except now that I've been away for a few years, I'm here more often than when I was full-time. But before I go ahead here with my part of this induction, I want to say something about Augusta. I was here when a friend of mine, Dave Stewart, recruited him. And Stewie was very good at not only recruiting athletes, but recruiting good people. And it's nice to know that young men like this go on and this college, soon to be also university, would recognize such outstanding young people. And I want to congratulate you, Augusta and David, for bringing you here. But we have an exception here tonight. We're going to talk about an old guy. Most of the time we induct young guys here, but we're going to talk about an old guy. And when I'm going to talk about this guy, because I had the pleasure, I was here when he first arrived, you know, I feel like a mosquito in a nudist colony. I know what to do, I don't know where to start. But I want to start something, and I want to leave some issues because I'm going to tell you a few anecdotes about. But I'm not going to be sarcastic about this because my hockey team's playing in London tonight. But when they talked about Polanski being inducted here, and I was developed a special relationship with this guy, and that's a mistake. Is when you develop a special relationship with him, you don't want to take advantage of it. So he works you to death because of it, everything that's coming about. But when he first arrived, let me tell you something about it in 1988. I remember getting a document on my desk. And this document on the desk said, I'd like to meet everybody here. He was new here. And between 7 and 9 in the morning and 7 and 9 at night, could you sign up and come and visit? I looked at this and said, this guy can't be for real. They said, yeah, you've got to sign up because he wanted 20-minute interviews to meet everybody here. And he met everybody here. Now, I don't know how your math is, and I don't know if you teach it here. That's close to a 14-hour day. He's just 5 days a week, plus the weekends and so forth. And that's how we initially started here in 1988, with that kind of an attitude and that kind of a philosophy, with a vision to develop this school into where it is. And let me tell you, and where it's come from. And that's in 14 years. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of his vision, because a lot of us, when I'd sit down and visit with him, I'd say, you know, this guy's been drinking too much, you know. Sleeping very little and drinking a lot or something, because I don't think it's going to happen. I remember him talking about this university 10 years ago, and none of us believed it. But that's what you look for in athletes: commitment, caring people, a vision, drive, intestinal fortitude, all the things we look for. It's the person that makes the athlete. I know a lot of people, I've got a lot of athletes in my life with a lot of ability. I wish I had more character. I've met a lot of them with a lot of character. I wish I had more ability. I found when you put them both together, you get a star. That's exactly what this guy's about. Character and ability to lead. You know, I got a phone call from him one time in my office, and this is the way he approaches you to get you. He said, Sherry, what do you think about having an open house? This is when we were really trying to get known in the area. He said, yeah, you ran an open house. And yeah, I said, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I think that's a great idea. So why don't you come down and see me? So I walked in his office, and he said, I think you should run the open house. Oh, I should have told you I didn't like the idea. So anyway, the last thing he said to me, I wanted to be the very best. Well, anyway, I went back, and let me tell you something about this that I've never forgotten. I called him a couple of weeks later and said, you know, I think we should visit all 26 high schools, give them plenty of time, and have an assembly that they can get all the grade 11s and grade 12s and grade 13s out, and visit and go in there for an hour or 45 minutes and tell them about Durham, and invite them here for open house. He said, that's a good idea, I'll go with you. No, I said, don't be stupid, we're going 26 schools. This is like stupid, don't. He said, I'll have my schedule there, schedule around my schedule, I'll go. Well, you know, I wasn't going to go to all 26. I was going to designate, so I thought, well, hell, if he is, I better go to all 26. He went to 25 of them, and the reason he didn't go to 26, he had an emergency meeting and called me up and said, I've carried you for 25 schools, so you can do one alone. Well, I haven't forgotten that. And the irony of this thing, I got to tell a fun. They still have the basketball court out here, this outdoor basketball court here that you built here. We were coming in one day from a meeting at the school with one of the schools, and there was two kids playing basketball out there. Looked like they were pretty good, and we're both in suits. And he said, "You want to take them on too? Let's take them on." Like I'm 5'8" and he's 4'11". Okay? I said, honest to God, I'll never forget this. He absolutely shot the lights out. We beat them. They were so surprised. I was leaving for a class, usually late. He was going to a meeting. I said to him, the best thing we can do is never, ever go on a basketball court again. Because we've made such a hell of an impression here. They really think we're stars, okay? A little shrimp like him, he knocked down about 8 buckets in a row. So, but let me tell you about how he was committed when they talk about a building. I used to spend a lot of my time here between 10 and 1 in the morning because I get a lot done in my office. Actually, more time between 10 and 1 in the morning than I did in the daytime, I think about it. And when I'd be leaving here lots of times through that front door when they used to have Mahogany Road down here, all you elitists used to have offices down there, I remember. He would always be here. And some guy came in the door one time about 12:30 with a pizza looking for Gary Polonsky. I told him, I'm Gary Polonsky. He gave me the pizza. I ate half of it, left it on his door, and ran out the back door and knocked on it. By the way, only $7. And you got half the pizza. I just thought of that. You know what I mean? Because it cost me $14 for that pizza. Never did pay me back. But he's always, in all the things that he's done in directing this school, been committed to athletics. Whenever I've talked to him informally or socially, he would remind me that the basketball team was playing if I was in town. The soccer team was playing. The softball team was playing. He was always very proud of it. He was very supportive of it. He was part of it. It was as much part of this institution as anything else that he was doing. He believed in it, and he believed in the student athlete, and he was committed to it. And it's, we talk about loyalty a lot. It's what's said behind your back, not to your face. People say the right things because they think you want to hear it. He always has said the right things that had to be said. He didn't, if certain things were being said that shouldn't be said behind your back, he stood up. He didn't just listen to it. He didn't go along with it by conduct. He had something to say about it. He stood up and was counted. He mentored our 3 children that are now all in the States, and so when I was told that he was going to be inducted here, I think it's very, very fitting because it's his vision and his direction, and an institution like a corporation, like a hockey team, like a football team, like a school takes on the character of its leadership. And this school has a fine record of its character. I'm pleased to talk about and be here to induct Gary Polonsky.
Well, folks, thank you very much. Thank you, Sherry, and student athletes, all of everyone else who works in support of those athletes. I'm going to be really brief because I am actually very humble about this, because I have no idea in the world, frankly, why I was chosen. Because all that I have been is a fan, So I love coming to the games because I love what you do. And how that justifies being in the Hall of Fame, I'll never know, because you are the stars. It's your supreme effort that makes the difference. And you juggle everything. Work and family and athletes and the whole bit. And you do so well. Durham competes in 9 sports. We made the playoffs in 7 this year. We medaled in 5. And we have a gold and 2 silver as part of those 5. So I don't think it gets much better than that. You should give yourselves one hell of a round of applause. I remember going for lunch maybe a month ago, and somebody whom you know, Lindsay, from the basketball team. Is Lindsay here tonight? Hi, Lindsay, right. So Lindsay was the waitress who served us as brothers. She had come in that morning from an all-night shift as a nursing student. She had to play a tough basketball game that night, and God knows what she had to do for the next 24 hours. And that's how Lindsay lives your life, and that's how all of you live your life. You're incredibly busy, driving champions, and to me, you are your heroes. And compared to that, I do just nothing. You're right. So I would actually just like to close down by saying how grateful I am to accept this. I do accept it, of course. I'm honored, and it will have a space of honor in my office. But I'm particularly honored because I'm receiving this on the same night that Augusto is. Sherry already has begun to speak about Augusto. Lois, my wife, and I will remember a night when we got a phone call, maybe close to 8-9 years ago now, I think from David, that a person had just defected from Cuba to potentially play on our basketball team and be a student at our college. And I can relate a little bit about this because my family fled a communist country as well. And it's the kind of freedom that we take for granted is a kind of freedom that people in those kinds of countries really have no experience with whatsoever. So I said to Lois, jump in the car, we're going down to greet this young person to make sure that he begins to get a sense of what it means to live in a free country. And we've become friends ever since. And he's made a life. He met a wonderful student at Durham. They have 2 wonderful children. He has a growing leadership role in a major organization in Durham region. And I think probably he may have been the best basketball player for sure, and maybe the best athlete that we've ever been blessed with at Durham College. He's an Olympian. He led us to a national championship. The next year, he led us to #1 in the country for the entire year. He's just a wonderful person, a wonderful athlete, and I'm honored, Augusto, to be earning my honor on the same evening as you are earning yours. So congratulations to you. Thank you to you all.
Congratulations, Gary, and certainly for the terrific words, Sherry. Always great to be back, and good luck. You're down a game to London, so it's best of 7, so there you go. I'd like to move now, if I could, to our second Hall of Fame inductee, and certainly it's a pleasure to have so many people call and leave voicemails with me that certainly had a big impact and or had an impact made on them by this next gentleman. I'd like to start things off, first of all, by a letter we received today by fax from Augusto's former college coach, who was also in the United States and also was coached in the CBA before coming here. And Dave Stewart, our athletic director, had a great deal to do with bringing coach here. And Kerry, who is now working in the private sector, is certainly pleased, Augusto, about your special induction tonight. He sent a letter through. I'd like to read it if I could. And coaches don't all write that well. I know Stan March could vouch for that. Dear Augusto, congratulations on the Durham College Sports Hall of Fame. I'm truly sorry that I cannot attend this evening and be present in person due to personal plight, so I thought I would write down some of my thoughts for you this evening. I don't know if people realize how difficult it must have been for you to leave your homeland and start fresh and brand new in a new country. Looking back at what has happened to you since then, and the events, it is a credit to your perseverance and certainly credit you have accomplished so many things in this country. In retrospect, it appears that you made a terrific decision to attend Durham College. and to stay in Canada as you are now a successful member of Canadian society. On a personal note, I would like to thank all the people at Durham who gave their assistance in helping to overcome the many obstacles that you faced. Both you and I also faced during the season in leading our team to a national championship, one of my own personal goals. I wish you continued good fortune and all the best in the future. Sincerely, Kerry Vincent, head coach, Durham College. I'd like, if I may, we have at this time, Sports Network, TSN, did a terrific presentation. It was big news back in 1994. World Basketball Championships in Toronto, and certainly a young man defecting to a new country and what it must have been like, I can't imagine. However, TSN did a terrific job capturing that story, spent some time here to meet the people involved, and certainly paint a picture of what Augusto's story was when he first came here. So if we could, if our technology people are all set to go, if you could direct your attention to the screen for the next moment. We have the TSN tape from a number of years ago we'd like to play for you. So you grab a seat, scoot your chair over, we'll get ready to go in a moment.
16 of the top nations in the world competing for basketball's grandest prize. Cuba, just one of those countries vying for its own place in basketball history. On day 2 of the tournament, Cuba's chances for a medal faded when word came that Cuban basketball star Richard Matienzo defected with hopes of starting a more lucrative pro career in North America.
He's no NBA player. If he defected because he thinks he's going to jump on the big league, he's forget it.
Alfredo Jordan defected from Cuba over 14 years ago and now runs a successful shoe repair shop in Toronto. He aided in the defection of Richard Matienzo.
He told me about his persecution over there, that he'd been mistreated by the government, and he had problems with them, and most of all, that his family needs him out of the country. They have 2 kids they want to raise and so on, and we believe all that. And now it wasn't true.
Matienzo's defection angered Cuban officials. They wanted answers. So with nowhere else to turn, they approached Matienzo's teammate and best friend, Augusto de Quesney.
He referred him not to me. He was the only true honest person who was the one who got in trouble. He was chosen to be the scapegoat by the Cuban officials. And we threatened to go to jail and be punished because he didn't sneak. So that's when I decided, well, this is the guy we really have to help. Because he's a refugee.
Alfredo Jordan knew he had to act fast. The Cuban officials had already told Augusto that he was going to pay the price for his friend's defection. Jordan went to the Toronto Star Building to contact Randy Starkman, the reporter credited with breaking the news of Richard Matienzo's defection.
Never handled a defection before. I wasn't sure, as a reporter, how we as a Star, how involved we were to get, because there was somebody who didn't know, where to turn.
Starkman realized Augusto was in danger, so he and Alfredo Jordan came up with a plan to help the young Cuban defect.
We set up escape him going to the lobby of the hotel. So we waited for him outside. We talked with some of the members of the Angola team so they can surround him and try to blend him so nobody's going to go and hurt him. You see, they have the order that Augusto or anybody else who wants to defect should be beat by the other members of the team.
Then we were in my neighbor's, minivan, and they were in Toronto. I think he had just, bought this minivan. And we just had no idea what was going to happen, whether we were going to try to drag this guy back, what was our involvement, what were we going to do?
The plan was already set into motion. There was no turning back. And by this time, Augusto had left his hotel room, having absolutely no idea what resistance he may come up against.
And this is everybody in the Cuba, from Cuba, around the hotel, and we worked around looking for everybody.
Surprisingly, everything went according to plan. Augusto casually walked through the lobby of the hotel and out onto the busy streets of Toronto in what were his final few steps to freedom.
Ladies, and we don't have to go, we don't have nothing, we don't have money.
The ironic, yet tragic part in all of this is that Augusto left Cuba without ever having any intentions of defecting. But because the Cuban government was using him and his family as their scapegoat for Matienzo's defection, Augusto felt that his family would be better off if he remained in Canada.
My intention was not defect. My intention was come back to Cuba.
But Augusto did not return to Cuba, and just 24 hours after his decision to stay in Canada, he celebrated his newfound freedom with Alfredo Jordan and some of his close friends. While back home, his family unknowingly suffered the consequences.
His father is 78-year-old, blind, he can work. His mother was a school teacher. She was expelled from her job because his son defected.
You put yourself in his position, you've never, you've always been under this regime where basically you're always told what to do and you're walking into freedom, but what does freedom really mean? What's going to happen with this new life and what's going to happen to the family that you left behind?
It has taken some time, but Augusto is adjusting to life in Canada well. He's enrolled in Durham College and attends classes that are full of students trying to adjust to the new lives they have chosen for themselves.
You're going to Canada? I came to Canada summer.
When Augusto finishes classes, he makes his way to the athletic center where he holds a part-time job, earning himself a little extra money to help pay for school. After work, Augusto goes to basketball practice, where he gets a chance to forget about all that he has gone through. The basketball court is where there's no language barrier. Head coach Kerry Vincent is happy to have Augusto as a member of his team, but he also feels that his time at Durham College is very important to his development in a new society.
One of the important things here is that he gets something out of coming to college, and I think he has, because from day one when I first met him, he didn't speak a word of English, and I mean not a word. And now he's capable of carrying on a reasonable conversation. And so I think he's got something out of it.
One thing is for sure, Durham College has got something out of Augusto attending college. He led the league in scoring for 2 straight years, and was a major part of the team's success during his stay. This is where Augusto calls home. He lives in the basement of Dave Stewart, athletic director at the college. Stewart took Augusto in despite already having his hands full with 3 young children.
It was scary at first. We weren't quite sure if we were doing the right thing. Once we met him, we knew that he was a gentleman. He took care of himself, but he sure needed to run. We got it.
The girls have been a very important part of Augusto's transition to North American culture. They're the driving force behind Augusto learning English, and they've very much become like his little sisters.
Okay, just press these buttons and these buttons. Okay?
There's no question for Augusto that this is his family in his home away from home. For now, the only reminder he has of his family back home are a few pictures he's managed to get through the mail. It's obvious that Augusto has had a hard time adjusting to life in a new country. It's not always easy making a transition to a completely different society.
They called me once and said, well, Augusto, he stayed in the washroom around 3 or 4 hours in the water running and don't let anybody sleep. And when I talked to Augusto, I found that he was doing all his clothes by hand. He was washing them by hand. He wasn't used to a washer and dryer. That's the way he was used to doing things back in Cuba. And we'd come down and we'd find socks and underwear and T-shirts and sweatsuits just all over the place downstairs.
Augusto has adjusted to life in Canada very well. He's made it his home and is dealing with the fact that he may never see his family again. Given that, there's one thing that he has a very hard time dealing with.
And Canada, oh man, it's close to me. Oh man, it's close to me. I like Canada, but I like doing me too. Father, since when? Wow.
Well, it's certainly my pleasure at this particular time to say a few more brief words, certainly about Augusto's terrific college career, and certainly depicted very well by that story of the many people here. I'd certainly like to have right now, if I could, Alfredo Jordan please stand, and his wife will be recognized. You have to stand, Alfredo, please. Certainly since coming to us, as Kerry Vincent, our head coach, said, we've got a chance to get someone who could do something better with their life and learn the language and get an education. As Kerry would say as well, we got a pretty damn good basketball player out of this deal. In this case, Augusto certainly didn't let down our basketball program, but he didn't let himself down either. He was an absolute gentleman from the times we picked him up in the morning to the first snowfall where he wasn't all that keen about coming outside the house. As I recall, as I was trying to get the heat on in the car to turn up, even though it was on full. But from Dave and Alfredo and so many people that helped, many who are here today, Augusto went on to a terrific career. Two-time All-Canadian, he led the league in scoring twice. He led our school's basketball program to our first national championship, and many, many other terrific accolades that you'll be able to read on our Hall of Fame wall later on. He holds a single-game scoring record for a single game of 40 points in a game, which will stand for a number of years. And he also, despite that, at the OCAA Basketball All-Star Games the same year, scored 42, basically in half a game. So pretty exceptional career. It's my pleasure and certainly my honor to call up Augusto Duquesne, Hall of Fame inductee.
Thank you everybody for sharing me. Good evening, everybody. It's in Spanish, buenas noches. I would like to this opportunity for back home today. It's my dad's birthday, so I will we take the camera. Take the picture in here. So I would like to say to my dad happy birthday. And my language is feliz cumpleaños, papi. I would like to start by saying that this is very honor to me to be here this evening. But an even great honor to be introduced along with my good friend, Gary Polaski. From my first day visit to the college until the day that I played basketball for the college, I have had a team of supporting me. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you the people who helped me make it this time at Durham College to success. First, Alfredo Botan, my father figure. He encouraged me to leave Toronto area to come to Durham College. He loved and took me care through all my time and bad times. Second, Dave Ventura. Dave took me into his home, put roof over my heart, clothes in my back, and food in my stomach. He was more the director of the athletic for me. He was a great friend. Thank you, and to all your family, for especially the girls who helped me learn this English. The third person is the coach that is not here for a reason. So Gary Wilson, I will always remember Gary yelling, "No, Augusto, no, no!" When I went coast to coast and took a shot for 3-point area. But he was very supportive of me, and he always loved how I didn't play the game. 4, Athletics Complex staff for supporting me and allowing me this opportunity to stay in shape throughout my career at Durham College. And the last but not least, my friends and families who has come this tonight supporting me. I thank you for all time and dedication. And through the scholarly letters are mine, my chief is hanging on the wall. Soon my picture will be having as well. It is important to recognize all of my teammates throughout the years who passed me the ball and work hard, equal, and learn on the national level. Gary, it's an honor to be introduced with you into the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much. Gracias, everyone.
Congratulations, Augusto. Well done. I have to tell one story about Kerry since he's not here, so we can talk about him. Kerry Vincent, his former coach, was often, I could hear him from office area all the time, just yelling, "Augusto, play D! Play D!" And then he'd come back and I said, "Why are you yelling? He's able to hear you, he just doesn't understand you." Yelling all the time. Congratulations, Augusto. It's a terrific honor and certainly very deserving. On behalf of our entire Hall of Fame group already in the Hall of Fame, our guests, distinguished guests, congratulations to Gary Polonsky, Builder category, Peter Kestney, Athlete category, Hall of Fame inductees. Next portion of our agenda, we're going to move to our Varsity Intercollegiate Awards. Awards for Rookie of the Year, Coaches Award, Most Valuable Player in a number of our sports, top pitcher, obviously, for baseball and fastball. I'd like to call upon Brent, Liz, and Dave to assist us making sure Liz will take lead hand and help her out when she can. And I'd like to start things off, first of all, by summarizing a little bit about the year. It's been a long year. A lot of things happen. Lindsey Gronross's story that our president so aptly indicated happens a lot. I know as student athletes, it's a very difficult challenge not being able to take on a part-time job because your studies are so important and your time involvement with the team is important. And I'd like to run through some numbers here. It's my opportunity. This is my 18th banquet. It's a special night for me to be here. But before I start, I certainly have to, at this time, thank my wife, Diane, who's at home with our 2 children, a 4-year-old daughter, Shannon, and 1-year-old son, Braden, for certainly her support and allowing me to be out of the home so often, but certainly understand how important it is and what a great job it is to be here. Numbers. We talk about numbers. It's the year 2002. I'd like to go over some really interesting numbers I had the time to put together over the last couple of weeks and over the year. Certainly, the number of hours it takes to ride a bus from Edmonton to Grand Prairie, I certainly know that very well, Alberta, and back. 364 collegiate games played this year. 42,988 kilometers our teams traveled this year. 1,004 hours of practice time this year. 8 collegiate tournaments Durham College hosted. 1 national golf championship. Best ever. 1 provincial basketball Final Four women's championship. The largest attended OCAA basketball all-star games this year. 8 high school tournaments, 5 elementary school tournaments, and 37 community and special events all took place at Durham College this year. As student athletes and coaches, you can figure out the hours you were involved with our program. Many. And we're very fortunate to have a very terrific coaching staff and a program of support for you. And we're continuously in the thick of things with our programs. So I'd like to start things off, if I could. We're going to work through our collegiate programs. We're going to begin with golf. And certainly a real special year with golf. Before we do, Ping Canada, which is also where Dave Wilson, a former Durham College graduate, has been so supportive as title sponsor in adopting a great idea to have college golf become a national championship. So for the first time, Ping is involved. Durham College hosted at Lake Ridge Links, just north of here in North Whitby, and it was a terrific event. Mike Duggan, who's also our golf coach, my friend, and certainly our chair for the golf championships, deserves a great deal of credit handling this major event. And as a team, we always recognize this, because without it, it just doesn't happen. I'd like to call upon our head coach of our men's golf team to come up and present in a moment our Golf Varsity Awards, Mr. Mike Duggan. This time, because I know he's probably on a short schedule. One of our corporate sponsors we rely very heavily on. You'll obviously know how important that is to programs and varsity programs, but if I could at this time, I think a few of our student athletes know where this place is. I'm not too sure, but I could bet on it, I think. But certainly with us this evening, one of the proprietors and owners of Shoeless Joe's is here. If we could have Todd please stand. Todd. Thank you for all that you do to support our program. It is absolutely terrific. And we look forward to it. I know we talked to Todd first opened the business, and it was pretty much a dive. I think it used to be one of those famous Ponderosas at one time. It became something else and something else. And it was a pretty tired spot. This gentleman and his partner, Bill, have done a terrific job of making that not only a livelihood as part of his livelihood, but a terrific spot for us so close to the college. So, Todd, thanks for all you do to support our program. Appreciate it. 3 beers tonight is Shoeless, right, Todd? Not like any other night, right? Thanks again. Golf, varsity golf, big year for our program. Provincial champ candidate, we ended up with a bronze medal, a terrific year. 3rd in Ontario, and certainly at the national championships represented our school very well as a host. 8th in all of Canada. And it's my pleasure to introduce, if I could, our award winners for golf. Starting off first with our Rookie of the Year. An outstanding candidate in his first year, was one of our top players all year. He finished with terrific results. After the second day of the national championships, he was tied with Steve Montgomery from Alberta. Going in as the final group, he was tied for the lead. And they played on the final day in absolutely the worst weather. It had to be below 0. It was rainy. It was just absolutely horrible conditions. And Kyle battled his way through, as they all did. And I guess represented our school with the kind of perseverance we like. He ended up finishing in the top 10 in the country, 7th in all of Canada in just his freshman year. And I'd like to call upon our Rookie of the Year from Perth Secondary School, Kyle Welch. Come on up, Kyle. JB! Woo! Coaches Award. We have awards for each of our programs that are a very prestigious award by the coach. The coach looks at all kinds of criteria that involves this very special award, and we present this in that regard at Durham College. And this year's Coaches Award, a terrific student athlete with our golf program from Pickering, Ontario, a Dunbarton High School graduate, Kevin Crawford, Coaches Award. One gentleman that's usually here, I know our current Hall of Fame inductees and distinguished guests recognize his face often at college functions. He's retired now as our former director of admissions and our former golf coach for over 25 years. The Most Valuable Player Award for golf here at Durham is named the Jerry Pettit Award, aptly, after our former coach. And unfortunately, he's with family this evening out of town in London, perhaps watching the Otters play tonight, who knows. And he'd be real honored to be here. He really enjoys this. He was really involved with our golf national championships. And our Jerry Pettit Most Valuable Player Award this year is a tie. We have co-winners. First of all, from Curtis, Ontario, already with us as a Rookie of the Year, Kyle Welch. And co-MVP this year, an outstanding year, a very consistent player. In fact, he won the silver medal individually at the Ontario Championships this year. And I'd like to welcome our co-MVP, who is originally from Clearwater, BC, Justin Mayer. Congratulations to the team members, a terrific effort. As Becky mentioned, we are hosting the national championships again, the Ping CCAA National Open Championships this October at Lake Ridge Links. Our men's varsity golf team, congratulations. Women's soccer is next. I'd like to introduce our head coach, his 20th season coaching at Durham, 17 with our men, 3rd season with our women's program. Please introduce, if you could welcome our head coach, Mr. Vaso Vujanovic, our assistant coaches, Lori Farron and Matt. Please come forward. Here we go. Women's soccer team, second in the division. They often find themselves with a winning record. One of the most consistent programs in Ontario and haven't had a losing season since its inception in 1990. They made the final 8 again this year and playoff contenders again with a very young team. So the expectations are certainly very high for Coach Vujanovic, the squad next year. And should be a terrific bonus to build on what they accomplished this year. There were 8-2-2 this year. Our Rookie of the Year this year for our women's soccer program, a Paul Dwyer Catholic High School graduate from Oshawa, Christina Foreman, Rookie of the Year. Christina had 5 goals in her freshman season, 5 goals, second in the conference in scoring. Our Coaches Award, which is a difficult decision this year for the women's soccer program. It's someone who persevered an injury in her first year and bounced back this year to be a valuable part of our team, and the coaches certainly recognize her perseverance and her dedication. Our Coaches Award for women's soccer this year, a Bracebridge Muskoka Lake Secondary School grad from Bracebridge, Ontario, Sarah DeCara. our most valuable player this year. And again, from her freshman season, when she became a team leader automatically, to this year, where she had another terrific season in guiding our team. The most valuable player of our women's soccer program for 2002, from Grimsby, Ontario, a Blessed Trinity Catholic Secondary School graduate, Jen Cornier, MVP. This time, I'd like to, if I could, several provincial awards were awarded this season, and certainly I'd like to recognize them now because they weren't able to pick them up in person at that particular event. I'd like to call upon now who is the 2001 Women's Soccer Central Region League's top goalkeeper. She can come forward, Tanya Turi. As well, both this season, we had two League All-Stars this year in women's soccer. First of all, from the Women's Central East Region League All-Star, Christina Foreman. And also League All-Star this year, Jen Cornier. I can remind everyone, if you exit to your right, pictures are at the very end. Congratulations to our women's soccer program this season. Men's soccer, fourth season with our program head coach, also the technical director of the Durham Flames of the Canadian Professional Soccer League now, which is great to have him back involved in that program. Certainly like to call upon this time our men's soccer head coach, Stan Bombino. While he's making his way up here, I'd also like to present him with the OCAA East Coach of the Year Award that he received this season for his efforts in 2001. Bombino. If I could this time, it may take a little while because we have certainly a terrific with our former players and certainly coaching staff and some of the top college people in the area want to be involved with our soccer program. That's very gratifying, and we're real pleased to have people involved. I'd first like to call upon, if I could, and have them come up when their name is called to join us on stage. Our coaching staff is, Mr. Gordon Oliver, Mario Bombino, Vasco Geronimo, John Bombino, and Jimmy Kuzmanovsky. Please come forward. Before we move to our awards presentations for men's soccer, we have a gentleman involved with our soccer program who spent 12 years of his life here. His wife may think it was more, but just stepping down from our team as our team manager, team assistant for the past 12 years. And trust me when I say there is no one that does as terrific a job with the program in Canada. And I would really like to, at this time, present on behalf of Durham College a special gift to Gord, which is a framed caricature of his involvement for Durham. And Gord, for 12 years of dedication, congratulations. We're going to miss you.
We pay a lot of tribute to our coaches and players. But for us, on our team, too, we've got a large coaching staff. We need somebody to keep all the coaches in place. Without Mr. Oliver this year, we would really struggle. Gord's been with me for 4 years, and without him, we certainly would not have achieved the success that the soccer team had. Gord, on behalf of the coaching staff and the players, I wish you all the best. I wish you could stay. However, thank you very much. It's been great. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, Gordon. You're going to have to give these guys a quick lesson on how to do laundry on the road. It's a miracle getting that mud out of those uniforms. Men's Soccer Awards. After a third place finish, nationally ranked again, they're on the verge of being back in the winner's circle next year. After having a very positive season and a very talented group of soccer players. Rookie of the Year this season from Father Leo Austin Catholic School. He's a grad from Whitby, Ontario. Dustin Zikor. Dustin, come on. Coaches Award. This gentleman came to quite a record of stops before. Of course, in Italy, he was a Centennial College student, which he obviously made a great choice switching to Durham. He was also at Cleveland State University for 2 years. And we were pleased to have just an absolute dynamic person join our soccer program. And we'd like to award this time the coaches unanimous. Our Coaches Award, Nadja Krepp. Well, Nadja's coming up. I'd also like to interrupt Mr. Vujanovic. Vaso, if you could come back up again. Our men's soccer most valuable player award is aptly named the Vaso Vujanovic Award. Correctly my whole life, but about that. Vaso's had 17 years with our men's soccer program, is the winningest men's soccer coach in OCAA history, and the award's aptly named after him. So, Vaso, we'd like you to come up and present the most valuable player award this season for our men's soccer program. Our most valuable player award this year on our men's soccer program, and certainly the gentleman who we had to take the most mud out of his uniform after every game this season. I don't think we played a single game this year in sunlight. Be sure of it. Our MVP, Father Leo, graduate from Whitby, Adam Farr. League All-Star Awards for provincial recognition go to 2 outstanding players with our men's program. One a first-year player, one a returning player. League All-Stars for 2001 men's soccer, Mark Angelage and Graham Haydor. All-Stars. Congratulations, Durham College men's soccer team and award winners. Women's basketball is next. In his 3rd season in Durham, Please welcome, if I could at this time, our head coach of our women's basketball program, Mr. Craig Andrews. I'd also like to recognize at this time, if I could, who also was a team member of our Hall of Fame inductee this evening in Augusta when they won our school's first national championship in 1997. Also now our assistant to our women's basketball program. Please welcome Mr. Bill Krause. We have a gentleman we'd like to call up as well. He's been a bit basketball program. In fact, he helped the women's basketball program at the bench area be big league. He's a towel guy. He looks after water. He keeps the girls straight in line. Marcus Andrews, our team assistant, women's basketball. We recruit them young here. Women's basketball team, final 8 this year, 6-6 in the regular season, a terrific season, a long season in basketball, and we had an outstanding year of accomplishments. I'd like to introduce our Rookie of the Year this year, from Durham, Ontario, Pickering High School graduate, Rookie of the Year, Nicole Moore. Our Coaches Award this year, and I can't say that the Coaches Award is a real special award, because it makes up not only your on-court success, your off-court success, but what it says about you as a person. Our Coaches Award for women's basketball this year goes to a Father Leo Austin grad as well from Whitby, Lindsay Gronross. Most valuable player, women's basketball for this season. In her second year, averaged 12.7 points per game. She was in the top 10 in scoring in the East Conference and represented us at the All-Star game. From O'Neill Collegiate, Oshawa, Bonnie Slaughter. Congratulations to our football program on an outstanding season and award. Men's basketball is next. Men's basketball season can be summed up with a simple fact. There are only 10 conference games, about 5 short. We finished the season on a winning streak with tandem conference games counting. A slow start put us behind the 8 ball. They finished on a 5-game winning streak and look to positive signs certainly next year with our basketball program and representing Durham and its reputation in Ontario. I'd like to call upon our head second season. He was also this past year inducted into the University of Prince Edward Island Sports Hall of Fame as one of the first inductees after his 4-year collegiate career. Please welcome Peter Gordon. Also at this time, our assistant coach, Ann Plowman. Basketball. Rookie of the Year, a local product, and some people term the phrase or nickname a little country. Most people remember big country from State in Vancouver. But this gentleman had an outstanding freshman year. He's a local product from O'Neill Collegiate in Oshawa. Rookie of the Year, Dave Clancy. Coaches Award this year. For dedication and perseverance goes to a young man in his first year of their program from Clarendon, Ontario, a Charlotte Lake High School with Coaches Award, Tom Murdoch. Our most valuable player this year was a gentleman who was recognized provincially for his outstanding talents. He averaged 13.9 points per game, was in the top 10 in scoring in the conference in the OCAA. Our most valuable player, a St. Clair Secondary School graduate from Whitby, Dudley Bent. League Conference Awards at this time for men's basketball. First of all, second team All-Star East Region in the OCAA, Adam Farr. And first team selection, OCAA East Region League All-Star, Dudley Bent. Congratulations, Durham College varsity men's basketball team. Baseball is next. Head coach in his 10th season, the only coach we've had with our varsity program, similar to our women's volleyball program as well. In his 10th season, also a scout with the New York Yankees. He's been working real hard with our program, and I'd just like to take a moment now as he celebrates 10th up on stage here. It's my pleasure to certainly congratulate this gentleman for all he does with our baseball program, not only on the field, the countless hours on the field. Sam Dempster, 10th year. Coach Dempster informs me his coaching staff is out recruiting tonight. But in all fairness, Bob Johnson is the province traveling as is Sam's son. And Jeff Pierce apparently hasn't got his license yet. The 4th year in a row. Anyway, a little inside joke. Coach Dempster has to pick him up for practice. In all fairness, Jeff does a terrific job. We'll pass on it to him. And I'd also like to recognize John Carr as well for his volunteer dedication. Men's baseball team. Men's baseball team 6-6 on the season, nationally ranked, conference finalist. We got beat up the last second in a tough ball game against Ottawa U, but we certainly are always there against the universities and always right in the thick of it and have been there since we started the program. And I'd like at this time to introduce our Rookie of the Year for men's baseball. As Sir Wilfrid Laurier graduate of Scarborough, Rookie of the Year, Sean Raymer. Our top pitcher award this year goes to a freshman. In his first year here at Toronto, he went Tech high school grad out of Toronto. And a terrific freshman season. He is left-handed if you haven't figured it out. Top pitcher, Jeff Ashford. Coaches Award. And for Coach Dempster and the squad, they take great pride in selecting, and I think it's very deserving. Whitby, Ontario native. He's a Henry Street High School graduate. Our Coaches Award for baseball this year goes to Mike Zahar. Our Most Valuable Player Award also has a name designation to it. A gentleman who, in his memory, did a great deal to get baseball going in its initial stages. Lionel Boone Baker was known very much for fastball in the area, but developed a great love for baseball when he knew Durham College needed some cash to get a baseball program started originally. He did, and the program launched, and the college has supported it ever since. And our Lionel Boone Baker Memorial Award MVP for this year goes to a gentleman from Guelph, Ontario, Centennial Congratulations to our men's baseball program and award winners. Women's basketball is next. 13th season. As you can see, our coaching staff really admires what it's like to have a dedicated program, or they really like the place because they've all been here a great number of years. We feel very fortunate to have this gentleman with our women's basketball program. He's at the top of his game across the province, if not across Canada. And I'd like to call up our head coach, Jim Nemish, women's basketball. Assisting Jim again, and since Mal's joined the program, I think we've lost 2 or 3 games, I'm not sure. Mal's been a terrific addition to our program 5 years ago. He's with it again. He does a terrific job basketball and youth basketball in the area. Let's welcome our assistant coach, Mal Swift. Women's basketball. The NCAA basketball history, 9 Ontario championships, 17 medals. And in case people want to know, we decided to loan out the trophy this year to a school from Hamilton. After a terrific year, we'll get that back next year again. Silver medalists. An outstanding season, 9-1 in the regular season. Their 5th consecutive league pennant, and we just keep producing wonderful student athletes in women's basketball that do a great job. I'd like to at this time, if I could, before we get to a special presentation that Coach Nemish and a couple of distinguished guests would like to do. Rookie of the Year this year, Lindsay, Ontario, I.E. Warren, Kim Phillips. Top Pitcher Award. And, another of our fine prospects that have ventured our way from the Stratford area. Stratford Central High School graduate. She was 5-0 this year with a 1.16 ERA, undefeated. Our top pitcher, Eric Smith. Coaches Award. Very difficult decision for the coaching staff. This group, all kinds of off-field teamwork things, fundraising. They were in clinic. Our Coaches Award this year for women's basketball from Fenland Falls and Fenland Falls Secondary School, Diana Nichols. Our MVP award is named after our former women's coach who was also here and a former Hall of Famer, Mr. Richard Snowden. The Richard Snowden Award, most valuable player this year, goes to Aaron Smith. Aaron was not only a top pitcher, but she was seventh in the league in hitting as well at .417, and 3rd in the entire OCAA in RBIs as well. So both on the mound and on the batter's box. So what I'd like to do now, if I could, before we let our women's basketball program, our head coach, Jim Nemish, would like to, at this time, make a special presentation on behalf of someone very involved and very dedicated in her memory of women's basketball, the Joy Hirsch Scholarship Award. I'd like to turn this over to our head coach, Jim Nemish, if I could.
Thank you very much, Ken. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Polanski and Augusto for their induction into the Hall of Fame tonight, and to all the other athletes and coaches here tonight on their season. About 2 years ago, a very special lady in Oshawa, a well-known fastball resident, passed away at the mid-age in her 50s as she come to her battle with cancer. Joy Hersha was the founder, builder, executive, coach, player, you name it, of the Oshawa District Ladies Fastball League, better known in Oshawa as the Monday Night Ladies League. This league provides a place for all women's basketball players to play after they've done their competitive ball. Former athletes at Durham that have played in that league: Leslie Seeley Pellerin, who is inductee into our Hall of Fame; Lori Thompson, who's an outstanding pitcher here; Julie Collins, Shannon Tabb, and the list goes on. The executive wanted to do something special for Joy in her memory, and approached myself and Mel and the college and wanted to establish the Joy Hersha Award. Tonight I have Sharon Hatch and Liz Holmes from the executive and Joy's husband Don here to make that presentation for the first recipient of the Joy Hersha Scholarship. And if I could ask Sharon, Liz, and Don to come up now and make that presentation.
Okay, I'm going to be repeating some of the things Jim just said because we didn't coincide with our speeches here, so I'll have to read my little cards. Lizzie and I are here representing the Oshawa District Ladies Softball League. We play at Durham Fields every Monday night from the first Monday in May and right through to the end of September. We are considered a competitive house league with girls ranging in age from 18 to 50-something. Through the years, we've had girls in the league from Durham College, as Jim mentioned, some of the girls' names, also from the Stingers and the Double B organizations, and from the City Park League. We have a nice mixture of ages, talent, experience, and personalities. The nucleus of our ladies' league have played in the league for many years, and we've developed great friendships, as our main incentive is to have fun while playing the game of softball. And as much as we enjoy playing the game, we truly enjoy our 2 to 3 hours socializing after the game in the parking lot. So with that in mind, Lizzie and I are honored to be here representing our league, which has set up a bursary with the college in memory of our teammate and friend Joy Hersha, who passed away in September of '99. There are some people here who knew Joy or knew her son Rob Hersha. Rob attended Durham College and was part of the sports administration program. Joy's husband Don is with us here tonight, and after Don retired from GM, he taught a business course here for a couple of semesters. Now he's truly retired. Joy was one of the original founders of the Oshawa and District Ladies Softball League some 34 years ago. We've been playing up here at Durham College since the fields were built. Before that, we played at North Oshawa Park, and we played down at Stone Street. She was an active player until May of '99. She was on the executive and or the president of the league for most of those 34 years. So the good news is to all of you athletes is that you can continue to play the sports that you love into your 40s, 50s, 60s. And that might be scary to you, but it's scarier for us. Most sports have masters leagues, which they used to call old-timers leagues, and we're kind of happy to change that name. So stay active and have fun in your sport. Like Lizzie to continue.
Joy was dedicated to having a league where Women over 18 can still play fastball without having to travel. This bursary will be awarded annually to a member of the Durham Lady Lords softball team. The criteria for the bursary was established by our executive, which when we discussed with coaches Jim Nemish and Mel Swift, who are both familiar with our league and also had the pleasure of knowing Joy. Jim and Mel selected the recipient based on the following criteria: dependable, enthusiastic, encouraging, leadership, loyalty, positive attitude, and responsible. So now Jim and Mel will announce the recipient.
With great honor, our first recipient of the Joy Herscher Award this year goes to Captain Diana Nichols. Diana?
Congratulations, a very nice gesture, and certainly congratulations to Diana Nichols, the first recipient. Women's basketball at Durham College. Men's volleyball is next. 5th season of their program, 15th season in the OCAA, 10 of which were at another school down the highway, but 5 here at Durham College, and we're very proud of having him lead our men's volleyball program. Nationally ranked each of the last 4 years. This year, second in the conference to the team that won a bronze medal at Nationals, our only nemesis all year, and we won a bronze medal at the Ontario Championships, nationally ranked. Please welcome our head coach, Gord Williamson. Rookie of the Year, men's volleyball. In this case, very dedicated our team in just his first season at Cloyne, Ontario, North Addington Secondary School graduate. Our Rookie of the Year, I'm pleased to say, Adam Malcolm. Our Coaches Award this year, and someone who has a terrific amount of leadership, displayed that this season, and was always a coach, and certainly from the coach's standpoint, very deserving of this award as our Coaches Award for 2002. From Canada, Ontario, and Earl of March Secondary School grad, Coaches Award, Jeff Beck. Our most valuable player this season, and we're fortunate enough to have him join us after a one-year hiatus from attending Laurentian University. He was a terrific addition to our program, and anyone could see who saw him play. Dominated the OCAA in his first season at Durham College, where he found a home not only on the court, but academically as well. Our MVP from Scarborough, Ontario, Pope John Paul Secondary School. Rob Miller led the league in conference in offense. He was also named a league all-star and an all-Canadian in his first season at Durham College. Congratulations to the men's volleyball program. Women's volleyball program. One of the numbers I forgot to mention earlier was number 2, which was 2 cowboy hats that were purchased in Grand Prairie, 2 of the people on that trip. In his 18th season, and certainly, what can I say about this gentleman? Coach of the Year for the 5th time in Ontario. He's been a CCAA nationally recognized coach. He had our team at Nationals again for the 5th time, and another Ontario championship. Please welcome our head coach, Mr. Stan Marshall. Women's volleyball, statistically 12-0 on the season, undefeated. They lost only one set, 36-1 in regular season. 45-2 on their way to an undefeated Ontario Championship season. Their fifth trip to Nationals and third trip to the National Championship in the past 4 years. 7th in Canada, an outstanding season for our women's volleyball program. And it's my pleasure to present our awards for women's volleyball. Rookie of the Year, and a young lady that we're certainly real pleased she's begun her collegiate career at Durham, from a little bit north of here, Myrtle Station, from St. Clair Secondary School, our Rookie of the Year, Megan in her first year was second in the OCAA in scoring with 3.5 points per game, and just had a terrific season. Our Coaches Award this year. And this young lady's been not only a terrific person, a friend, a leader with our students, but certainly in this case, an easy choice for this award, and as our head coach would easily agree in selecting his Coaches Award. This year for women's volleyball, a Clark High grad member of our head table this evening, Becky Spencer. Our most valuable player this year, and on a team of champions, it's very difficult to select. A team of terrific athletes, which we all are, are very difficult to select these awards. Our last most valuable player award to present women's volleyball. Our MVPs this year were split. It's a tie. First of all, from Anderson Collegiate, we're pleased to have her for, even though it was just 1 year, it was a pretty memorable year after her years at York. She joined us this year academically, a very strong student, an outstanding player. She was MVP at the Ontario Championships. Co-MVP, Marilyn Hood. And also most valuable player this year, a young lady who joined us from Wilfrid Laurier, and one of the top players position in the country, and that was proven obviously at the national championships in Grand Prairie, Alberta. League All-Star and MVP as well with our women's program, Amy Good. We're glad that Amy is a graduate of Wyerton District High School. Wyerton represent! Talk to that groundhog about this weather. Congratulations, ladies. I would at one moment, too, and I am remiss. I've been trying to track our provincial awards that we weren't receiving in person. So this time I'd like to present a men's award that I missed from the men's volleyball program this time, and from the provincial championship. So hang on, ladies. Men's volleyball championship all-star, Hamilton, and a terrific season. Please welcome League All-Star Adam German. It's an outstanding tournament, tournament at the provincial championships. League All-Stars, Championship All-Stars from the recent championships at Redeemer College, an undefeated tournament where Durham won the Ontario Championship. It was a very exciting moment. Our president, family, and friends were there, and all kinds of students that took time on their break to go down there as well, including some outstanding people that painted their faces up and really got into it. It was a really exciting moment. Championship All-Stars for Durham College, Aaron Smith and Megan Weston. And And as well as I mentioned earlier, the tournament most valuable player at the provincial championships was Marilyn Hood.
Well, Marilyn.
Congratulations, Stan, you can go. Thanks. Outstanding season women's volleyball, and that concludes certainly our team session. I'd like to say congratulations to all our student athletes, and certainly you should be very proud of your accomplishments. We're very proud of you, and we look forward to all kinds of terrific things next season. I'd like to move to our next portion of our agenda. We have a new award. It was last year, but aptly named after an individual who retired from Durham College. It was my boss and the Vice President of Student Services last year. And in her honor and her dedication for her time spent with students over the years, we developed the Bonnie Ginter Brown Durham College Varsity Leadership Award. It's a very special award. It's given out to a male and female in her name, in her honor. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to be here this evening, but she has promised she'll make it a trip down once in a while from her haven up in Banquet. I'd like at this time to, if I could, present the first ever Bonnie Ginter Brown Varsity Leadership Award on the female side to Becky Tranter. And on the male side, first ever Bonnie Ginter Brown Varsity Leadership Award goes to Kyle Welsh for our men's golf program. If I could, once I get both of them up here on stage, I have a few words of feedback for them. On behalf of Bonnie, is to say, certainly, I'd like to pass on some comments I heard while getting the opportunity to hear what other people say from other colleges about our student athletes. One, our student athletes always represent the college first class. From hotel managers to other college athletic directors to gym attendant staff to parents, the same feedback I hear always is how well our student athletes conduct themselves. In this case, I heard absolute terrific stuff about both Kyle and Becky as well. For example, the golf national championships. What an outstanding young man. Composure, leadership. First year was outstanding. Those are the kind of things I heard not only from that, but from people with the RCGA, the Ontario Golf Association, that had no idea who this gentleman was. He quickly made a name for himself this season at Durham College, and very well deserved. And in Becky's case, the same thing as well, from Ontario to her role with student council to all the accolades at Grand Prairie, Alberta, where it just continues, and she's going to be back next year. Two deserving award winners. Congratulations. Someone get Al Forney a drink. I think he needs one at the photography booth there. I'd like at this time, if I could, to move to some special appreciation awards that we have. This is where I get to recognize some students and peers of your own for their efforts this year with our athletic department. First of all, we've had quite a contingent. I'd like to recognize we've had co-op students from high school, we've had co-op students from two, actually, but in this particular case, our admin program is very important to us, and the faculty that support this program in our own department rely very heavily on the student athletes and our students, in this case, on placement. And I'd like to recognize, first of all, a young lady out of Scarborough. She's a member of the soccer team, women's soccer team. Let's say men's, women's soccer team. Let's try it with Stan's team. Stan didn't tell me anything. She's an outstanding student athlete, an absolute terrific addition to our athletic department. And if I could this time, I'd like to recognize her because the PowerPoint presentation that's so aptly been running throughout the evening was certainly created and designed by Liz Raponi. Liz, congratulations. Next, I'd like to recognize a gentleman who came to us from Guelph, Ontario. He's debuted his speaking ability as an MC already this season to rave reviews. Although NBC hasn't called yet, he certainly made a great debut with the Final Four Women's Basketball Championships. But in all honesty, our student athletes work a great deal of time behind the scenes, including this banquet, and every single hour that goes through the program. Close to 300 on their placement. They've put in 3 times that on their placement this year. I'd certainly like to recognize Liz and in this case Dave to Oakhurst for to receive a special gift. Next, the gentleman who came with us, and we went through interview processes, and we have a difficult time sometimes selecting, and this year was certainly the case. We had 3 outstanding candidates, so when Karen and I and our staff decided whether it would be a good idea to keep 3 students on, we wondered if there would be enough work for them. I think if you asked each of them, there's probably plenty of work for them. And in this case, a young man from Markham, Ontario, in sports admin, and certainly involvement through the golf national championships, our day-to-day activities. And it's just been a real treat to have with our department. I'd like to recognize Brent Graham. I'd also like to recognize someone who's going to earn his keep in the next little while. He's joined our department. He's going to stand and be recognized because he's just getting his feet wet with our department. We're pleased to certainly have this gentleman. He's jumped in feet first with our athletic department in order to complete his studies and his placement with his sports admin program, and we'll congratulate him at the end of his term sometime in June. But we're pleased to have with us, and please stand, Jeff Beck. This next young lady, if I could, joins us from Anderson Collegiate, where she's done her co-op and did a full-time co-op for a semester through until when she graduated in January from her co-op. And certainly this move, when Gordon Williamson, who in his part-time job as a full-time teacher at Anderson Collegiate, phoned me and said he had a real terrific student that would like to do co-op at the college, I certainly took him up on it, and boy, what a great decision that was. Crystal Crouch has done an outstanding job, and everything Gordon had said about her was correct. And tonight we'd like to recognize her for her outstanding efforts behind the scenes because they were exceptional. Crystal, come on up. So on behalf of the department, congratulations. We really appreciate our students' efforts, and all the best. Thanks so much. I've been told that our students take over for a few seconds here. I would like to also recognize we're moving to the final part of our agenda. I want to congratulate you on your attentiveness. We're moving towards the after party. We're pretty much on time, so I'm going to take it, give it to Dave Tabokers now for the next few moments. David? Oh, here comes my partner in crime now. I know you guys want to get out of here, so I'm going to make this short and sweet. A lot goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't see. There's a lot of help from our athletic staff. So if I could get Allison, Michelle, Karen, Dwayne, Mikey, and Ken to stand up. We got a little something on behalf of the athletic staff. So give it a round of applause for that. Come on up, man.
Once again, a round of applause for the behind the scenes work.